Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look at my personal trading account. This is my live brokerage account with Webull, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a performance review of my own personal trading capital that I have been trading publicly on this account for several years. Now, first, I'll say this, 2023 has been a really exceptional year for me. My personal best trading year, but as you'll see in a minute, I've had some not so great years and not so great periods throughout what you're seeing as overall performance. So in this video, I'm going to dive into that, talk about the ups and downs of this, and hopefully give you a little bit of a real look at what trading can look like if you've been doing this for a number of years. I've been trading since 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. I got started learning about stocks and indices and commodities and eventually FX and all sorts of things. Fast forward to today, hopefully this gives you a little bit of a look into my own journey so that you can learn something for yours. So let's take a look. So first of all, I want to say this, in terms of accounts that I trade, this is my account that I try and keep public. I do have other trading accounts. This is not the only account that I do trade on, but I would classify this one as moderately aggressive to conservative, somewhere in the middle between aggressive and conservative in terms of trading. I don't use a lot of leverage for this. I do not, I'm not trading zero DTE options or anything like that. On this account, what I mostly trade is ETFs like the S&P 500, the QQQ, the gold ETFs, SLV, silver ETFs, US oil, USO, and I'm trading a good mix of options and of course just buying and selling shares. So as a US citizen, I'm unable to trade CFDs like XAU USD or US 30 NAS 100. As a US citizen, we're not able to do that. If that is something that you're confused about and you're a US citizen, I'll tell you more about it in this video that's popping up in the top right hand of your screen right now. Traders are in the US, we're limited to what we can trade. So I just trade ETFs. You can also do this by trading futures, but personally, I really like Webull as a platform. I've always traded stocks, and so ETFs are a natural transition for me. I've done this for a number of years, and that's how I trade. So I want to go through, we'll jump into some of the performance here, and we'll just discuss it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the good. And again, as I promised, I'll talk about some not so great moments. This is not just meant to be a, look how great I am kind of moment. Although this year has been really good for my trading, last year was horrendous. And I tried to stay transparent through both periods, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But first of all, let's talk about 2023. This is my month-by-month P&L, both the dollar amount as well as the percentage gain or loss on the account. And let me clarify something right away. What you'll notice is that these percentages aren't consistent. It's because throughout the year of 2023, I've consistently made deposits into my trading account. I've actually been adding to this account for several years now. So you'll notice that the percentages change pretty dramatically over the course of this year, as I added a good bit of capital in this year when I got pretty bullish on indices, etc. So anyways, let's start with January. So January I was up $25,000, $26,000. That was about a 7.77% gain. February I lost $4,000. It was a 1% loss. March I was up just under 20,000 and it was up 3.26% on this account. $3,000 in April, up about 0.6%. May up 10.5K, that was up 2%. June 29.95 thousand, up 4.45%. So if you only looked at this top row, you would have been like, wow, whatever strategy you're using must be miracles and rainbows. And again, I promise it's not as pretty as you think just by this screenshot, or this spot. So give me a second and I'll show you when we go back in time. We'll take a look at that. So July, still another great month, up 3.8%, $23.5 thousand. But then we had our drawdown. And if you watch me during this period, you might be asking, well, what was going on? Well, during this time, actually pretty much most of the year, I have been really bullish indices. We entered into this year, everybody thought the world was going into economic recession and that stocks were going to die. Well, I was really bullish megatech stocks this year. I'm talking about, the NASDAQ stocks. That's going to be your Apple and Amazon. And so I traded the Qs quite a bit this year, pretty much 100% on the long side. So I was very much able to capture a lot of that move. taken a look at the NASDAQ this year, it's been a monster. And I was pretty right about that. However, last year, again, I wasn't so right. So anyways, during August, September, and October, I was still doing my strategy. I was picking up longs whenever I could. I could find breakouts, pullbacks. I was trading and it was working beautifully during this period of time. And I entered into a pretty steep drawdown during this time. When you tally this up, 10 plus 20, let's call it, plus another 26, that's almost a $40,000, $50,000, $55,000 drawdown, which was pretty steep on the account. I mean, that was not something that I've been used to, as I'm trading with more capital today than I have in previous years. That was a steep drawdown, and as you can probably imagine, psychologically it was tough. I'll show you that as we go into, let me just go to year to date. So that was this period over here. So for just several months, I was doing the same thing as I was over here. I was doing the same strategy. It just wasn't working at all, right? Every time I thought I had a good breakout pullback opportunity, it just dropped further. And for 3 months, there was that lull after the summer months or towards the end of the summer where things just got really ugly. And again, the same strategies were not working very well. I made a whole video about this topic, about the concept of variance and just how important it is to understand that trading results, they vary heavily. Even if you have a good strategy, there's periods where a strategy looks foolish. And so for me during that time, that was my kind of that was my wake-up call, right? No strategy is perfect, and my win streak was really squashed. However, we ended out very strong this year, up my best month of the year in terms of a P&L standpoint and percentage. Yeah, this was my best percentage and P&L moment, was the end of November. We were up $67,000. That was a 7.87% gain. So again, we wiped away all the losses. How did this come about? Well, if you go back, and maybe we can find a clip to roll in this, Chandler, our editor will put this in here for us. There was November 1st. I went very heavy long on the S&P 500. Now, when I say very heavy, I didn't, over leverage my account or anything. I just deployed a large position in the S&P. I like the seasonality. Anyways, we'll let past Nick show you what I was thinking at that moment. The dollar weakness has been very beneficial to my trading account. I'm currently floating $8,500 at the time of recording this on the S&P 500.
You what?
Now, I picked this trade up inside of our Discord group, and I'll show you what that looks like here really quick, just so you can see the logic behind this trade. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read through this, but basically we went long at the beginning of November. November 1st was the day. So bright and early in the morning, went long on the S&P 500 after what we saw essentially to be a weak retracement after this kind of nice breakout from this downward trend. So we're trending lower, breakout, pullback, and it just ran. And at this point, I've trailed stops a few times, but one notable thing, and I'll show you this on the full screen in a second, seasonality was big for the S&P 500 as we went into this month. And so I think that it continues to potentially create an end of the year rally, which so far with all of this data that we got from the Fed and from the labor statistics world, right, NFP, we have a nicely supported uptrend here on the S&P 500. And not to mention on the daily chart, we have this kind of downward trend that has just broken up to the upside. I love to see it. I've got a trailing stop in play, and off of the 4-hour chart, as long as we hold this kind of low that we formed, I will be in. And if it does break and close, then we'll be out for a very nice profit. And to this day, I'm still in the same position. I'm in the S&P 500, and just to show you where I'm at with that currently, I'll just pause and pull that up. Okay, so I just pulled up my trading view just to show what's cool about Webull. They do actually have a way they're integrated with TradingView, so I can actually trade directly on TradingView, even though I'm using Webull. So that is very cool. But I do have my position pulled up here. So this is the S&P position, which has just skyrocketed here recently. I also sold a lot of puts on things like the Russell, which pretty much everything is going quite well on that side. So again, that is what really drove the results here at the end of the year. So as you can see, as I mentioned, the sort of end of the year rally has really been so solid for the results this year. Had you just ended the year right here, had I just walked away, it would have been a decent year, but not that great, right? But that last sort of rally really made up for a lot. And it just kind of goes to show with my trading style where I trail stops and let winners run. It really goes to show that the vast majority of the results that I get are from small numbers of just remarkable trades, and they don't come very frequently. In fact, during this time, again, I took so many small losses. I looked so foolish for quite some time, and in my comment section, as you can probably imagine, it got a little bit rough there. A lot of people, saying, Nick, your strategy stinks and all that sort of stuff. And trust me, the internal voices were yelling at me too. So it was a tough period during August, September, and October, but fortunately stuck to the rules. November, December have been, quite good. I mentioned, let's talk about 2022. Not so pretty, right? This was pretty rough, right? To be completely honest. Let's go through 2022. I mean, you can see I was down, both January and February a good bit. We bounced back a little bit in March. April, May, June were really bad. July was really good, best month of the year. And then you had August, September, October, November were great. December, not so good. So what happened? The same strategy. I've run the same general approach, my mix of fundamentals and trend following, price action, trailing stop method. I've done that for years now. The point is, however, during this time, some stuff happened. I was mostly very early with my bullishness on indices during this time. I took a lot of drawdown during that period of time. Some of the better trades that I had were in 2022. I traded gold really well. So some of the revival and it actually could have been much worse had I only just gone straight, long S&P and long NASDAQ and such. I actually cushioned a little bit of last year with some gold trades that went really well. Now, to be completely transparent though, in 2023, I've been pretty off with gold. I've had a couple wins here and there, but I would say that predominantly most of my performance has come from some oil longs that I took, some oil shorts that I took this year, and also the indices trades that I've taken on this account. So that's been a big driver. Again, last year was pretty rough. 2021, year before that, was pretty good, actually very, very good. And then 2020 was pretty much the easiest year I can remember. It was just, look at these numbers. My account was much smaller at that time. You can see by the difference in P&L. Had it been, what it is today, it would have been a remarkable year. I had several double-digit months in 2020. So I guess in percentage form, 2020 was my best year ever. During this time, what was happening? During this time, I was super long on gold and indices at the same time. I was trading both of those things with a bullish bias, and it was just like cutting butter. So when you get it right fundamentally, that's where things, I think, can just be so smooth. But when you get it wrong, here's the problem. You can also experience really bad drawdowns. I think the point is, though, as I do this for a number of years now, I just think it's really important to understand that there are ebbs and flows. In order to have years like this, you have to have years like this. And it's just one of those things. It's not fun all the time. Trading is difficult, and this is why not everybody does this stuff. But overall, this trading account is up 181,594. It is 154% up. So, this is the 1 year. This is the year to date. This is the 6 month. This is the 3 month, 1 month, and 5 day. Just to show you guys the overall account. I've been very active in terms of this year. I've taken a lot of trades. Overall, things have gone very, very well. Let's hope that we can have a good year next year. Again, sticking to the rules. I know long term it'll be just fine, but there will always be hiccups along the way. If you enjoyed this video, if this video was helpful to you, then make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to get the notifications of trades that I'm taking anytime I take them, there will be a link down below in the description to sign up for our VIP service. It is a service where Frank, myself, and Ivan, our 3 traders here at A1, we share all of our trades with in-depth breakdowns, including, by the way, that crazy indices trade that I took, the S&P move, was tracked all in here. Frank, I think, is trading like we trade a lot of FX. We trade dollar yen, for example. Frank is short dollar yen. We share all of that inside of the group. If you'd like to join us, again, feel free to take advantage with the links down below in the description. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Have a great day. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.